Very blessed this morning to have Reverend Roxanne Graves with us from Christchurch Unity in Orlando, Florida, where Reverend Renee used to be the senior minister. Yay. Isn't that a neat connection? Reverend Roxanne is the associate minister there, and in addition to all those regular, amazing associate minister's duties, she is the queen of education. She has a whole cadre within that community who are on a leadership path, who are becoming licensed Unity teachers, who are becoming ministers, who are truly interested in taking on this work for their own spiritual development, and it goes beyond the borders. She's actually organized Christchurch Unity as the regional center for education. So anybody, even from North Carolina in this region, can go down to Orlando and take classes, or anywhere in the world they can tune in, because now in addition to having students in the classroom, she has developed a whole online program. So when Nikki and I go down there and teach, we're teaching to people in the classroom, but people, and I go like this because we see their faces from all over the world on a computer monitor, and they participate that way. She's an absolute genius, and we're very blessed to have you, Roxanne. Welcome. I'm a sweet person, and I'm so sweet, I'm going to move the fan closer to you.
Oh, you're my favorite. It's official. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am so happy to be here today. I tell you, as soon as we pulled up, well, not even then, as soon as we got to the stop sign and I saw the Unity sign and the beautiful building with the mature landscaping, and it was just, it took my breath away. And then to get here and to meet every one of you, who you guys are wonderful and you're fun and excited to be here, and like me, you guys are here to celebrate your good works of the week. Sunday is a celebration day, and I can tell that you believe that here too. So thank you so much for inviting me down. It means a lot. I feel very special to be here today. Thank you. And you know, they come, both Reverend Nikki and Reverend Mindy come to Orlando twice a year and help me with that SEE. And they're so good, they're such good sports, you know. They say, oh, yes, well, we'll come again in February. And then I say, yeah, okay, well, about a month or so ahead of time. And oh, by the way, there'll be students online. Can you teach them online as well as it? You know, and they're always so gracious and so lovely. And they are a favorite of all of our students. So I am sure that you guys all realize how special and lucky and fortunate you are to have them here. So thank you. Speaking of being Christian cultured, I want to share scripture with you today from the Gospel of Matthew, which happens to be my very, very favorite. I believe that I have found pretty much everything I've needed to know about how to live a happy, joyous, and free life from the Gospel of Matthew. So it's my favorite. It also holds the Sermon on the Mount, chapters 5 through 7, commonly known as Sermon on the Mount. And that particular part of the Bible is what brought me back to the Bible. Or actually, honestly, to the Bible at all. Because when I was growing up, we grew up when we went to church, and the priest gave us the scripture and told us what we were to think about it, and then we went home, did the rest of our lives, and came back the next Sunday and we did it again. So we weren't really encouraged to read a Bible, and I never had a Bible. We didn't have one in our home, even though we went to church every Sunday. We actually didn't own a Bible. So I didn't get one until I had left that faith and moved out on my own and had my own place. And I remember my very first Bible. It was one of those black cardboard Gideon Bibles, you know, that you get. I'm sure it came out of a hotel somewhere, but I did not get it. I probably picked it up at a garage sale or something, but it had a torn back cover, and it was a King James version, and I tried to read it and tried to study it with absolutely no luck at all. And so I did jump in on Bible classes here and there. But 25 years ago or so, I found Unity in Orlando. And sweetest little white church building ever on the planet. It looked just like you would think a little white church should look like if you saw it in the movies. And I walked in there the first time. I heard Reverend Phil was the minister at the time, and he started talking about my life. And I knew I had found like-minded people. I knew that I was home. I finally didn't feel like an orphan. So they had this group there that studied Emmett Fox's Sermon on the Mount. It's Emmett Fox's interpretation of Sermon on the Mount. And through that class, I learned to appreciate the Bible for the tool that it is in my life. To understand that it isn't just a book of what we're not supposed to do unless we want to go straight to, you know where, in a handbasket. Have to add that handbasket. That was my mother's. Anyway, so add that. I learned that actually it's a set of instructions very pertinent to my life today, very pertinent to all of our lives today. That it's really quite a gift that was left to us to study and explore and open up and excavate out the wonderful, wonderful things that are in it. So I want to share with you the Beatitudes today. Is anybody familiar, most of you familiar with the Beatitudes? I know when I grew up, they sounded really scary and really kind of yucky, and what it made me think was that in order to be God's child, I would have to be poor always and sad and never speak out loud and have people revile me. It was not pleasant, any of the thoughts that I had around them. So I pretty much just, dismissed them out of hand. Wasn't going to pay any attention to any of that. So I have discovered that that is not the case at all, and I'd like to share those with you. Like I said, this is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." And so it is. So what I'd like to share with you today is what I have learned about the verse 3. I figure maybe I can get invited back to share the rest of them with you another time, depending on how it goes, so look out. The first one, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So, right off the bat, the title of this section, the Beatitude. The word beatitude, or the root of the word beatitude, means to be happy, or happiness of the highest kind. So right off the bat, you kind of have to like them. If you know metaphysically and even, where the words come from, you have to know that this can't be a bad thing, right? To happiness of the highest kind, to be happy. So it would stand to reason that the list of things under that would be the keys to happiness, right? So the first one being blessed are the poor in spirit. How many of you grew up being told you needed to be poor in spirit? Nobody, right? That poor in spirit, no. We want our children to be spirited and happy. But unfortunately, it's totally misunderstood when you look at it metaphysically. Poor in spirit means that you're void of any preconceived ideas. That you can set aside everything that you think that you know. Open up your heart and be available to receive new information. Be ready to receive God. Be ready to commune with God. To do that, we have to put aside all of our preconceived ideas. I personally suffer from know-it-allism. Always have. Been working on it a long time. So for me to put aside my preconceived ideas takes conscious choice. I have to make conscious choice. I have to listen to you. I have to stop talking, listen, pay attention, be available, mindful, and present. So poor in spirit means being available to receive new information. The word blessed, according to Merriam-Webster, is to be fortunate. So if we can set aside everything that we think we know, if we can open up our hearts and our minds to receive God, we can be fortunate enough to do what? Receive the kingdom of heaven. Yes, the kingdom of heaven. Metaphysically speaking, that means the divine realm or the realm of divine ideas that manifest through our lives in perfect harmony. Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that. I think at our core being, that's what we all want. We all want to be happy, joyous, free. We all want to know what's the next right thing to do in our lives. We all want to be in perfect harmony. Open up our hearts and our minds, set aside what we think we know, commune with God, and we can receive divine ideas that will manifest in our lives in perfect harmony. It's a promise. It's a good one. And I can do that most directly with prayer and meditation, right? But we can also get it, I can hear God from you. I can hear God when I pass up that billboard I've passed 1,000,000 times and never seen it before, then suddenly I get a little nudge. And that billboard means something to me. Anytime we can open up, if I can forget that I think I know everything all the time, I can receive that from God. The second beatitude I want to share with you today is, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. No one grows up thinking that they should be meek, especially not in our culture today. It's just not heard of. I see high school students, on the verge of breakdowns because I've got to compete, I've got to win, I've got to be, got to get to that school. My daughter, I'll never forget the day she came to me and told me, I have to go to a 4-year university or I'll be a loser. And I was like, who in the world is telling you that? Our culture is go, 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 faster, faster, bigger, bigger. Must win, must compete. So, blessed are the meek. Well, we could just put that one aside, right? But metaphysically, meek, people who are meek are those who can move into any negative energy with love. What a great gift. You know those people too, don't you? That can move into any negative energy with love. If we can move into all situations in our life with love, regardless of what's going on, we will be fortunate enough to inherit the earth. Okay, well, what does that mean? Door number 2. Inheriting the earth means that we will have dominion or control over our outer surroundings. That we have dominion over our outer surroundings. So basically the Beatitude is telling us that if we can move into every situation in our life with love and not fear, we will have control or dominion over our outer surroundings. Awesome. But we have to look at that one a little deeper, don't we? Because we already know that we have dominion over our outer surroundings. Because in our third principle, we know that through God we co-create our experience based on our thoughts and our actions, right? So it doesn't really matter if my thoughts are about fear or about love. I'm still creating my experience. Now the difference is, do I want to experience that with love and happiness, or do I want to suffer? And it can happen that fast. How many of you have kids? Yeah. See if it sounds even a little bit familiar, I don't know. What do you mean you failed that test? I told you you had to study for that test. Are you going to fail the class? You have to take it over? Are you going to graduate high school? Are you going to have to live with me for the rest of your life? You know, suffer. Or just as easily, if I'm in communion with God, could be, I am really sorry to hear that you failed that test. But I know that you are a smart girl. You will work it out and do what you need to do. Let me know if there's any way I can help you with that. Ta-da! Happiness. Wonderful, wonderful piece of instruction. Enter everything in our life with love, and we can control our experience and make sure that it's loving and happy. Can't get any simpler than that, right? Then the third one, blessed are those who mourn. They will be comforted. Happens to be my favorite because it has manifested in my life so miraculously on a couple different occasions. You know, you think, well, why should I mourn? I mean, aren't we supposed to be happy, like, all the time? Isn't that what you just said? I have to enter into love so that I be happy? Isn't that the goal? What do you mean? Well, it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes we do mourn. And when we mourn, we will be comforted. No really deep, intense, metaphysical interpretation in that one. I worked for this huge conglomerate and had an event happen. I was accused of something that I did not do, but in an environment like that, it doesn't really matter. Things still have to go through the processes that they have to go through, and it takes weeks and weeks. And I was terrified. I was devastated. It shook me to my core. I was worried about losing my job. I was worried about losing my home. I was worried about where my family was going to live. I was worried about, you know, what people were going to think of me as a provider for my family, as a human being. It was terrifying. I did everything I knew to do. I sought counsel. I did everything that I knew to do. And then finally somebody asked me one day, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. And they said, Roxanne, have you talked to God about this yet? And I was like, well, no. I have been way too busy doing to even think of that. And besides that, God's got it really didn't seem very practical to me at the time. So, this was a long time ago. But I also was way too scared to be able to settle down and pray, so I made a decision to call Silent Unity. Anybody ever call Silent Unity? They are wonderful, wonderful. We even have a little red phone in our church that goes directly to Silent Unity. We call it the backbone. You pick it up and somebody says, "How can I pray with you?" It's wonderful. So I decided I would call Silent Unity, and I did. And I told the woman, "I'm too scared to pray for myself. Will you please pray for me?" She said, "Of course she would." And as soon as she started praying, a wave of calmness and peace came over me. It was nothing short of a miracle. I was able to recognize in that moment that I was going to be okay no matter the outcome of this situation. And I knew it as well as I knew my own name. I knew it so well that I was able to get up from that prayer work, go out and garden, and just enjoy being alive, knowing that whether I stayed in that house, I stayed in that job, I did whatever, it wouldn't matter because God did have it. God's got it. And I was going to be okay anyway, no matter what. That was probably one of the biggest miracles that had happened in my life to date. And I knew it with every fiber of my being. I had asked God, and I had been comforted. I had forgotten for a little while that God is my one and only true source. I had forgotten it for a little while. But I asked, and I was reminded, and I knew. And I knew it was going to be okay. I didn't have to wait for my boss to tell me everything was okay. I knew it was okay long before that happened. And it did get cleared up, and it went away, and yay. But I knew long before that everything was going to be okay. And if I ended up somewhere else, that was going to be an even better place than I was at the time. What a gift. I mourned, I prayed, I was comforted. So looking back at these 3 Beatitudes, they don't really look so much like a list of do's and don'ts, do they? They look more like examples or reminders for us of exactly how universal law works. It's a reminder that God is always our one and only true source. And that at any time, whether it's one-on-one, if I'm working with a group, or if I'm walking through a terrible darkness of the soul, God's going to be the answer. And if I will turn toward God, I will be back in the flow of the universe. I will be fortunate enough to be receiving divine ideas that are manifesting pure harmony in my life at all times. Can't wait to share the next ones with you. Thank you.
Okay, great. Time is good. Let's integrate by singing and then coming into a time of meditation.